Hello Big Brother fans, here's a recap of episode 8 of Big Brother 16. So of course, last night we were ending with the dun dun dun, the cliffhanger. So we start with Brittany explaining why she has Pow Pow, who used to be her friend, on her hit list. And of course that was because she, Paula threw the competition and thus, got her stuck there up on the block with her, and ensuring her safety, meaning Britt would go home. So I mean, that's understandable, but she then speaks up, Paula, and says that she comes clean and says that Devin was telling her to throw the competition and da 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 da, and then Devin interrupts her, and Paula calls him a liar, and he was totally called out on the floor, and he was just giving his best charming charisma smile that just it's. Oh man, just seeing that smile sometimes just gets on my last nerve. But then it was Zach's turn, and then the crap hit the fan. Started hitting the fan over and over again. And he called out everyone, unfortunately, and then he calls out Devin and tells him that he's a huge liar, that he was, mocking him, that, that, oh yeah, sure, you're playing with honesty and integrity. And Devin doesn't say anything until he tells Zach, best of luck to you, bud. And then, what a crazy, crazy ceremony, Who'd have thunk? But then we have the Zanky fallout, because Frankie was very upset that, Zach had, called him out and put his game in jeopardy. And I don't know that friendship will ever mend itself. I think that Frankie will use it to his advantage, perhaps, if necessary, but I don't know that it will ever be able to be what it used to be at one point. But Zach says he's gonna try. Then Devin says that we've got to get rid of Zach because he's ruining the bomb squad. Yet he was the one that put up a bomb squad member. I mean, it's like, how does he justify, saying we've got to get him out because he's a liability to the bomb squad, when he was put up there and, can justify his actions, That was the one rule of Fight Club. Don't talk about the Fight Club, and don't put anybody in the Fight Club up on the block. I mean, how simple can it be? And what's the first thing that Devin does? He puts somebody in their alliance up on the block. So I don't get his understanding, but I think maybe that's healthy, that I don't understand him. At least I hope so. So His Majesty, aka Devin, I think he actually tells Caleb to go get Hayden, because Caleb is his little puppy, and he says we need his vote to be a part of the to get the numbers, basically, is what it is, especially to get Zach out, because he was kind of going through the list of people, he'll vote this way, she'll vote this way, da 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 da, and Hayden was kind of up there in the air. They just didn't understand, where Hayden was standing. So he pulls him up there, and, he says, you're in, blah, blah, blah. Hayden's like, I wasn't really given a choice. I was just told you're in. So, pretty much, when he asks, for it to be confirmed, I'm going to be in. So, Devin at that point promises that he will never, ever, ever put another bomb squad up again. This is, of course, if he can win another HOH or POV, in the case of he didn't win the HOH at this time around, so it would mean winning the POV. So anyway, then became Operation Damage Control, because Zach really kind of screwed things up. So Derek talks to Zach and says, I want Zach here. And so he decides that he's going to go talk with you know, a few people. And so he says that, you know, it's better to keep Zach here, because that way him and Devin will constantly be going at one another, keeping him, Derek, out of the limelight, and safe to do more missions, you know, with Team America. So then we cut to a Team America meeting, and their goal at that point then is to get Paula out, because, you know, it would suit their purposes, like I said, you know, to keep Zach in the house and have them going at one another, keeping them there longer to do their missions. So then Derek goes to Caleb, and, you know, to me, it's always a very risky thing when you go and talk to Caleb, because, you know, he's also a loose cannon. He talks about everything to everyone. You know, it's like, have these people not found out that, you know, honesty is not the best policy for real? So he gets, basically he talks to Caleb and says, you know, I think we need to keep Zach, because it'll keep him, you know, him in the house, and him and Devin going at one another. It'll keep us going. And then they talk some more, and then all of a sudden Caleb has this bright idea. I think we need to get rid of Zach. I think it's something about Derek that, you know, kind of plants that seed and then makes these people think that it's their idea, especially Caleb. Caleb is so into himself that, you know, it certainly couldn't have been anybody else's idea other than his own. Frankie then goes to Devin to tell him that Hayden has been let into the bomb squad. And he's like, well, who did this? Like, you know, I'm the boss, you know. How dare anyone go out and pull someone into this bomb squad without telling me, you know? And so he says, well, you know, what's his face? He did it. Caleb did it, and he says, you know what? I'm out of the bomb squad. I am going to pick every one of you all off, one by one. Okay, Devin. So then it comes time to the speeches, because we are all going to go into the diary room and place our votes. And I don't know, I really enjoyed the speeches this time, because usually it's, you know, it's like, I love you guys, I love my family, I love, lovey, love, you know, and I'm like, you know, nobody really talks strategy, you know, it's very seldom that they do, you know, but Paula goes up there and says, you know, I feel like a winner already. You know, Devin, you know, she loves every one of them except for Devin, because Devin has 5 different personalities and they all suck. God, I loved her. You know, she was really a firecracker in that house, and she did make people laugh quite a bit, and so she will be missed. She also said, I would never ever throw anyone under the bus, comparing herself to Zach. How Zach went out and, you know, told everybody's tough. Then it was Zach's turn to say, you know, he was blessed to be there. He thanks his family, and they, you know, then he turns to Game Talk and says, you know, it's in your best interest to keep me, as Devin is my target. And he says, so when you go into that dumb diary room, please vote to evict Paula. And that really truly made me laugh out loud. So the voting starts, and the only people that voted to keep Paula were her 2 best friends in the house, which are Jocasta and Donnie, and the rest voted to get Paula out. So she's out, and then it's time to speak with Julie. And all she could say was she couldn't stand Devin, and then Julie calls her out, you know, and says, listen, you admitted in the DR that you threw that competition. So anyway, she just says that she wants Donnie or Jocasta to win the game. And then Donnie's speech made her cry, because Devin was a dick, and Zach was a dick, and the only other 2 that they showed was Jocasta and Donnie's speech. And, you know, she's like, oh, you know, what about that speech made you cry? And she's like, well, because, you know, like, who would have thought that me would be best friends with a 42-year-old man with a beard, you know? I thought that was just cute, but they did have a special relationship, you know. The other person besides Paula is Brittany. Brittany and and Amber. They both have very nice, down-home, real conversations with Donnie, and I like that. You know, it's not always about the game. It's always, you know, it's always just stuff, you know, like we're driving down the street. Okay, where would you go? You know, and so then they'll go driving. And they'll just say, you know, oh, I'm going to turn down the street here to my mama's, you know. It's just, it's sweet. They have a very sweet relationship, him and Amber. And Brittany has been speaking to him a lot more lately, and so it's nice to watch. Next up is the HOH competition. It is called Underwater Polo, and you are given one single polo ball to hit into a numbered slot. The two people with the highest numbers would then become the HOH, and we have Nicole with the number 29, and we have Derek with the number 28. So those are our two HOHs, and they were all given bracelets, and it's a wireless activity tracker that tracks their physical activity to see how you know, how physical or not physical they are being in the house. And Julie said it is bound to affect the game. So immediately my mind goes to the drill sergeant, right? You know, so I'm guessing that the person with the least amount of physical activity, Zach, would probably, well, I mean, you know, he does pace. The minute he's up, he's pacing, you know. But, I mean, he sleeps a lot. I'm guessing that the drill sergeant is going to call these people out and have these maggots, you know, jumping jacks every 10 minutes or whatever. So it should be something fun coming up, folks. I don't think that, you know, this has been a fun season, at least for me so far. You know, watching the feeds always helps. And I think that is about it. I have not really been able to watch the feeds for about 24 hours, so I'm not quite sure. I don't have my finger on the pulse of activity there. I do know, leave if you don't like spoilers, I do know that they have not been given have-nots, and it just turned midnight 23 minutes ago, so the have-nots have become haves, and they can eat, and they had a huge Mexican feast that Brittany prepared, and I'm sure the girls are going to be so happy to be able to finally bathe and wash their hair. They don't wash their hair because it's just so cold, and they've got a lot of hair, so it takes so long, right? And Zach hasn't seen water since he became a have-not. Ew. And what else? Really, pretty much that was about it that I saw. They got their HOH rooms, HOH room, and their baskets and their letters. The letters weren't really, you know, sappy sweet. Derek said, the wife said, well, see you in September when you're the next winner, you know, of BB16. That's about it. Alright, you guys. We will see you, I guess, tomorrow after the nominations ceremony. And then we'll have Battle of the Block and POV. Boom, boom, boom. One after the other. Alright, we'll see you. Bye.